Welcome, this is the Big Miss You podcast. I am your host, Laura Kelly. Due to the continued risk presented by the coronavirus pandemic, it is still not possible for our vendors to be out on the streets selling the big issue. We are working hard on the preparations for them to be back out as soon as possible. While the restrictions continue, the Big Miss You podcast is still here to bridge the social distance between vendors and their customers. We've been really glad to hear feedback from Big Issue readers to tell us that this podcast has been able to put their minds at rest by allowing them to hear how their vendors are doing, and also to hear how the Big Issue has continued to support vendors. Here on our digital street corner, we're proud to be celebrating the relationships between vendors and their communities.
My name is Clive Rowe and my pitch is outside the Theatre Royal Plymouth. Being a big issue vendor, you don't really get that much time off. Most people get 6 weeks a year. A big issue vendor, your life's not like that. You wake up on Monday morning with £10 in your pocket and it's time to get on with it. We rarely get more than 3 days off. So lockdown for me, although it's been awful for the theatre, awful for my pocket, has been brilliant for Geezer. All his life, he's been a big issue dog. He's been a working dog alongside me. You know, within 2 days of getting him, he had to go on pitch with me. You know, I had this little wicker cat basket, and I used to pop him in there. Yeah, so he's been a working dog for all of his life, really. He's he's getting big walks. Yeah. He's never known anything like it. Do you know what I mean? So it's been real bliss for a little geezer. He's absolutely loved it. Yeah, I'm really, biting at we're looking forward to going back out in the streets and start generating money for the big issue again to say thank you very much. You know, I'm really looking forward to it.
Plymouth vendor Clive there, with an update on how he and his dog Geezer are getting on. We've also got a message today from Big Issue customer John, who wanted to tell us a bit about his local vendor in Edinburgh.
Hi there, I'm John Drummond. I'm a retired dentist and dementia care worker. I've been a Big Issue customer on a regular basis since October. I went to the local supermarket. It was a poor experience in terms of no eye contact with any members of people shopping, members of staff. When I went to the checkout, monosyllabic. And I came out of the supermarket and noticed Elizabeth standing there selling a copy of the Big Issue, and immediately there was eye contact. She said, "Hello, how are you today?" And what really shone out was this big radiant smile that she has. Week on week, I would go, get my magazine and look forward to having these conversations. And the wonderful thing about it was that for all the customers that she must have, she always remembered. She remembered me. She remembered my family situation, the fact that, I've got a vulnerable father, and always used to inquire as to how each member of the family was doing, as indeed I did with her family. In this day and age when everybody's rushing around and seems to have so little time for each other, that's such an endearing quality, I have to say. Not to have that there anymore leaves a little gap, obviously. So, and I miss that connect. I really wish her well. I hope things are continuing okay for her.
We passed John's message on to Elisabetta, and she was really happy to hear from him. She asked me to say that she's looking forward to talking to him again at Morrison's in Edinburgh soon. She was really touched to know that her customers were thinking of her. For today's main feature, we're taking a digital trip to the southwest corner of England, to the Cornish city of Truro. Animal lover Nick normally sells the Big Issue there, frequently accompanied by his dog Bryony. You might remember that we had a message from him in the second episode of the Big Miss You podcast, when he told us that people in his local supermarkets had been picking up the bill for his groceries. As that story attests, he is well known in the community. His regular customer Sally got in touch with us to say that every time she goes into the city centre, she looks forward to having a chat with him.
Hello everybody, my name is Nick. You all know me with Nick with Bryony the Chocolate Labrador. I'm usually outside Marks and Spencer's on Lemon Key in Truro. I'd just like to say hello to everybody. I'm missing everybody and can't wait to get back and see everyone. You'll all be surprised at how much weight Bryony has lost, but I'm giving her a shake. It's probably not as much as I think, but she is a lot better than what she was. I just hope that everybody's doing all right. I just really can't wait to come back, and I'm sure everybody does as well, to get back to a little bit of normality.
Hello, I'm Sally, and I buy the Big Issue in Truro from Nick. What I like, I've been buying it from him for a long time now, but he is so warm and chatty, and I think one of the things I feel is great admiration, because I know he's had quite a tough life.
Nick is a very popular face in Truro. Sally says she frequently has to wait in a little queue of his friends in order to buy her magazine and catch up. Nick says he's been able to stay in touch with some of his customers online and when he's been out getting exercise with Bryony.
Yeah, I've got a few on my phone anyway, and a couple have joined Facebook with me. And then I go into town a bit, so I see them then. And when it was hot, I was taking Bryony swimming quite a bit behind the cathedral, so I'd sit on the quay and have coffee and chat to a few then.
He also saw a number of them when he attended the recent Black Lives Matter protest in Truro, held in response to the killing of George Floyd in the US.
And then there was a few at the protest this Sunday just gone, for the man that died in America. I tried to hide at the back, but one of the speakers shouted out as he was finishing, it's a photo that's all over here, going, "I love you, Nick," over the speaker, so everybody turned round and
Nick told me that he felt he had to show up for the protest to take a stand against racism.
It doesn't make a difference to me what colour a person is, so it really has rolled me and has had me in tears, actually, on quite a lot of the racist stuff that's been going on, and the answers on Cornwall Live have been absolutely horrendous.
Nick is known in Truro for his empathy. Sally said that she's often seen examples of his kindness.
He's just an admirable man, I think. He's standing there all day, I think it's 6 hours actually, 6 days a week. He's so polite, and I've often seen him help other people, like a disabled lady with heavy shopping. He said, "I'll look after it for you," because she needed to go and pick up a prescription. He's very kind.
For Nick, it's all a part of his role at the heart of the Truro community. He says a lot of people think he sells far more copies of the magazine than he actually does, simply because he's always there, offering a listening ear to anyone that needs one.
Oh, God, yeah. I usually sell, between 20 and 30 a day, and then I must speak to a good 100 people a day. Easily. Not everybody that stands in front of me, because a lot of people think I do a lot more than what I actually do. But it's because I have people in front of me, lots of people who live on their own, elderly people that come and chat to me. I get the odd person, I've lent money to people. Other people catch taxis down and forget they brought their purse, so I had to borrow money off me because they always know I'm there. I get people that bring their dogs down for me to watch while they go shopping because they always know I'm there, because I'm always there. I just, I'm there, whether I'm ill or not, I'm there.
Nick's compassion isn't restricted to people. A long-time vegetarian, he's loved animals for as long as he can remember. Bryony is the latest in a long line of canine companions.
I've worked around animals all my life, and I've never been without a dog. This is number 16 that I've had. Bryony. I used to take any rescue on and have 4 or 5 at a time, but vet bills are not what they used to be. and all off a lead. I used to walk around London with 5 dogs off a lead, so, I've always been good at training dogs and looking after animals, really.
As well as Bryony the dog, Nick also has a cat named Meow.
Yeah, she's spending every night at the moment out hunting all night, sleeps all day now and hunts all night. And yes, I've had mice in the caravan. I had 1 dead mice on my bed the other night, 1 bits all over the floor. I've got 3 live mouse traps in the caravan because she brings presents in for me and lets them go. Cats are like that. It's evil, really.
Nick, Bryony and Meow live in a caravan on forest land near the waterworks. Nick was offered a hotel room at the start of the pandemic, but he thought he'd be better off where he is.
I said, I live on my own. Why would I? Why would I move in somewhere? And I wouldn't move in a building anyway. I've lived like this since I was 18. I'm in my 50s now, so I'll never live in a house like that. As I say, I've lived like it since I'm 18, 19. I've been a New Age traveller, but I've been static here now. 20 years I've been here. I've been squatting 2 acres of land. I've now had permission for years, it's the old tip. I'm at the end of industrial estate, but it's, I've got the old railway line behind me and everything, but I'm right next to the waterworks, so there's a bit of a bad side of what I've got, you can imagine. Because I can tell when everyone's at home in houses as alarms go off and the sewer tanks are full and things. But the trees, like when I moved here, were up to my knee. They're now 40 foot high, so they absorb quite a lot of it.
Nick has been selling The Big Issue for 16 years. He turned to the magazine after an injury left him with few other options, but now he says he wouldn't want to do anything else.
I had a broken leg. I was in Europe, living over there, and I ended up with a broken leg. I was putting rows on, running the bar for years over in Europe, and ended up with a broken leg. So I lost everything. I lost my home, my vehicle. I can't drive anymore. I can't sit in the driving seat anymore. If I go to pictures, I have to make sure there's a long spit to put my foot in. So there's that. And then I've enjoyed doing it. And I don't think I could work for anyone anyway. I've been offered a job in Marks and Spencer's, etc., and I have to politely turn these people down quietly because I don't think I could work for anyone anyway now. I've done this so long and I enjoy doing it. I enjoy working with the public and everything, really. There is lots of bad points of it, abuse and some horrible people and what you actually see out there. But, I enjoy most of it. It's more good than bad, like.
Like many Big Issue vendors, Nick has found it very hard to get by without his regular income from work. While The Big Issue has been helping out with some money and with food vouchers, he says that things are very tight.
Skint. Absolutely. I've not been a skint for a long time. Crap. Just want to get back to work, really,
While people in the community were helping out for the first few weeks, the support has tailed off a bit as the lockdown has dragged on.
Most people that were supporting me at the beginning of this lockdown have all stopped, right? So at the beginning it was all right. When I went to town, I'd get the odd drops, but now it's all... I've gone to town a few times and it's most of the people that were supporting me in the beginning have stopped as it's gone on too long, really, isn't it? Oh, just all I want to do is go back to work, really.
Sally is also really looking forward to seeing Nick back at work. She wanted to send him this message.
I'd like to say I'm so glad you're okay, Nick. I'm glad Brian is okay, and I hope the cat Meow is okay. I thought that was such a funny name. I didn't know the cat's name till I read it. And I think of you, I do admire your resourcefulness, Nick, and I'm really looking forward to the day when I can come and buy The Big Issue from you.
While he waits for it to be safe for him to get back on his pitch, Nick has found comfort in the natural world outside his front door.
Well, I got a clearing that backs onto Callanack Creek, which is a river right behind me, and I can see all across the land. I've been putting up bird feeding tables, bird feeders, nesting boxes, so really just keeping myself busy with that. I haven't had a break for 9 years. I've done 6 days a week for 9 years, at least, if not longer. So this is probably the longest time that I've been here. So I've painted the inside of my caravan, I can't find any more to do. But yeah, I keep going 2 days of just lying in bed, just getting depressed about it. And then I have to snap myself out of it and get on with it. Yeah, I suppose the wildlife, really. And on the full moon here was just absolute mental. It was so loud with wildlife, with badgers, foxes, deer. It was full on that night, on that strawberry moon. So, I've got telescopes for looking across the river and things. So I suppose that's kept me smiling, really.
Thank you to our guests on this edition of the Big Miss You podcast, and thank you for joining us in Truro. If you'd like to find out more about how to support the Big Issue or how you can send a message to your local vendor, go to bigissue.com/podcast for more information. We'd love to hear from you, and I'd love to talk to more of you for this series. If you enjoyed the podcast, please do subscribe to stay up to date with our digital street corner. And if you're listening on Apple, you can really help us to get heard by leaving a positive star rating or a review. The Big Miss You podcast is produced by Laura Kelly for the Big Issue UK, with additional reporting by Liam Geraghty.